Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy Judge Mo. Welcome to a panel debate where we're going to talk about, will Man City compete for the title? Is Trafford good enough for Man City? And also, Liverpool are still targeting Rodrygo and Isak, and they are building a formidable team. While Arsenal are trying to get Eze. They got Viktor Gyökeres, fantastic striker, amazing and brilliant. Chelsea now are targeting Hato and Xavi Simons. It looks like they're going to get both. Of course, it looks like they're going to get both. And Chelsea are cooking. We're going to be joined by ads, of course. But listen, guys, we already have 100 votes and we don't have 100 likes. Let's just establish a rule. The votes should match the likes on this stream. So if you're here, hit that like button. Subscribe. Of course, we're on the way to actually 38,000 subscribers. So help me get to 40K before the season start by hitting that like button, pushing the stream to new viewers, and getting involved in the comment section. Of course, I want to know what you guys think in the comment sections. Of course, as it said, members chats will be appreciated. Super chats will be appreciated. We'll have priority, but we'll try to do other comments as well. There's 400 people now, and we're not even on 100 likes. So hit that like button. And let me just start by saying a couple of things. Welcome back, Giuseppe, to the YouTube world, where you have been away for a while. So, guys, the Italian Gooner is here, of course, Giuseppe, back in his team. Dio, my Texan brother, where I'm actually now back in Texas, as you can see. Yeah, I'm back in Texas. I'm back home.
Welcome
Ram is
back,
here.
bro.
Thank you. Ram is here, of course. Brilliant Liverpool creator, of course. Has been doing this for a while. And Matthias,
I don't like this.
the Mank, the Manchester guy. People think that is, bro. Some people told me that Matthias is more deluded than Hamza. So I've actually been getting this text, bro. It's just, it's absolutely wild. That is wild.
That's not possible.
Yeah.
It
takes a lot.
It's not.
It is possible, bro. It is possible.
See, look, I went to Google. I typed deluded. Hamza's picture came up. What are we talking about here? On Google. Nah, it's not possible.
It is possible. I promise you, it is possible.
No, big up Hamza.
Okay. Hey, okay, Matthias. Will Man City win the title next year? Favorites win the title?
Yeah, I think we can. Obviously, there's still a lot to do in it. I feel like there's still a lot to do within the transfer window. Still think we need to get rid of some players, maybe address a couple of positions like the right back, because we still haven't got a right back. Last season, we had Kyle Walker was really poor. Then he had to leave. He went to AC Milan, and it was just from second half of the season. It was just experimenting. 1 week play Rico Lewis. Next week he plays Mateus Nunes, who both are midfielders. We have to sort out that position. We have to get a right back in, and also it will depend on the goalkeeper situation, because it looks like Ederson future is unsure. We don't know what's happening there. He said during the Club World Cup, he came out and said that he wants to stay, but the rumors are it's like he kind of have personal terms agreed with Galatasaray. So we'll have to wait and see. I've been very adamant that regardless if he stays or goes, we have to get a better goalkeeper. I've never really been a bigger fan of Ederson. I feel like for the way Guardiola plays, he's quite good, but I don't really rate goalkeepers and their ability to play with their fit or playing out of the back. For me, goalkeepers, they are the only players in the football pitch that they're allowed to hold the balls with their hands. So I don't think Ederson is a very good shot stopper. I just feel like it's time to get an upgrade in that position. But we wait and see, man. I feel like the team is good enough to win the league, but there's still a lot to do within this transfer window.
So you are behind. Do you think like are people, because City did the by the way, this is an open floor, anybody can speak. Because City did their business in January, Kuzanov, Marmoush, and they added Nico Gonzalez. Do you think people are sleeping on City?
I think personally people might be, like, do you know what, even like where they got the business done this window early, like, before the Club World Cup, they got Turkey in and stuff, Rendes. So it's like they got their business done early, and it's not, and they haven't signed a player that's like a wow, out of this world sort of signing, the way Liverpool have signed Wirtz, Arsenal now signing Gyokeres. So I feel like that's why people are sleeping on them. But people got to remember they've got a good team already. Like, I don't know why people don't think City can win the league. Of course they can. They've still got one of the best managers in world football, if not the best still. They've still got Rodri. They've still got Haaland. If Foden picks for me, they've got him. The Ederson stuff, I don't know why he would want to go Galatasaray and leave Man City. That's strange to me. But maybe he just wants to leave. I don't know. But I think people are sleeping on City. And I know obviously they didn't do great in the Club World Cup, but I don't really like the Club World Cup was great, but I don't think you can define the season coming through that competition, because I just feel like
Be careful, Giuseppe, man.
Why?
Chelsea fans will get on to you. Bro.
Listen, Chelsea done well to win it, because you got to want to win it if you're in it. But like, don't mean every single team is going to be giving 100%. And I think
I think with Ederson, it's quite a lot of things. I remember a couple of years ago he got offered a new deal, but he apparently rejected because the wage wasn't enough for him. But I don't know how much of that is true. But I feel like Ederson has been wanted to leave for a couple of seasons now. At the beginning of last summer, not this one, last summer he had an offer from Saudi, but he was just like, Man City was asking for 30 million, but Saudi was not willing to pay that price. So they ended up not get him, and Ederson stayed. And I remember there was a lot of games last season where his body language wasn't right. You could have seen like the way we were conceding goals. Sometimes you look at your goalkeeper, even some goalkeepers, when you consider like they angry, they shouting at the back line and whatnot. But when you look at Ederson, most about last season, he was like, we were conceding, the head was just dropped. Do you mean like for an experienced guy like you've been around the team for 8-9 years now. You're one of the leaders. Like when the team is struggling, you have to. I know you don't have the captain armband, but you're one of the leaders in there. You're one of the old guys. Do you know what I mean? You have to find a way to lift up the team. It didn't show that if you look linked out to the rumors from the summer. I just feel like the guy has accomplished everything that he had. Listen, Ederson is going to be an icon for Man City. He was part of the team that made history, 4 in a row, trebles, Centurions, Formidables. So he's going to be there. He's an icon for the club. But if your head is not at it, if your head is not here, there's no.
Bro, do you think it's a clash? Do you think it's a clash with Pep? By the way,
no, I don't think it is.
Because I just can't understand, because you see goalkeepers, they never really, goalkeepers for me are never really the guys that want to find a new challenge when they're at the top. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's at the top at City, right? And it's not like he's at a lower team and he wants to move up. He wants to digress. He wants to go down. He wants to go to Galatasaray, right?
Maybe
no disrespect to Galatasaray.
Maybe they're offering him better money.
Yeah, but
maybe
no,
listen, better money.
No,
I can't imagine Galatasaray.
I
stupid amounts
again,
more.
I get what you're saying, but you need to remember, Ederson is Brazilian. He came from like the poorest side from Brazil. Do you know what I mean? These people, like
he's directly from the favelas, right?
Yeah. They tend to hit an age in their career where he came to England. He went to Portugal. He won the league in there. He came to England. He won everything that is to win. He's at the stage where he's getting paid 100K a week at Man City. And if there is another offer on the table where they triple your wages,
or just even double it. Just double it to 175.
Yeah, listen,
City should be able to pay him that. Can I tell you guys the reality about this?
Because
Pep actually don't value.
You see some of these Brazilian players in the Premier League, once they hit the age of their retirement, they tend to go back to Brazil and to play to their boyhood club. So, and they don't get paid much, so they would cash in.
I agree with what Mo just said, though. I don't think he's valued by Pep, and I think that's the reason he wants to go. Because at the end of the day, I look at it like this as well. From what you said, bro, with the body language, that ain't someone who just wants to go somewhere else and earn more money. That's someone unhappy at the club they're at. You know, that's someone who he's a professional. He'll still do his job. He won't kick up a fuss. He won't go on social media spouting. But body language shows what someone's really feeling. And if you're saying that you saw last season that he weren't the way he used to be, that tells me that he's unhappy where he is, and that tells me that there's been something.
But Giuseppe, what's he unhappy about? Again, they offered him a deal and they didn't increase his salary properly enough, so he's unhappy about what they're paying him. He's not just unhappy because he's at Man City. He probably loves the city. He probably loves the club. He probably loves the players he's playing with. But I can't be a treble winner with you, four-peat with you, go and do all of these things, and Raya is earning more than I am. And the guy at Bournemouth, Kepa, is earning more than I am. And the guy at, like, you have to think about.
Yeah, but he's not that good. He's not, okay, basically, he has not that good.
But Mo, the point is, I have won enough for you to make a lot of money at this club. I warrant that.
No, that doesn't work like this. It doesn't work like this. It doesn't work like this, Dio.
I understand what you're saying. What I'm saying is,
it's not a charity. The club is not a charity. If the player is not good enough, they will never give him the money.
Mo, I'm talking about
his perspective.
Hold on. If he's not good enough, he didn't contribute to them winning those things. Did he not? Do you think Ederson
he did?
Hold on.
They don't value him.
That's my point. If you don't value him, you don't pay him his value. If you don't pay him his value, right? He's unhappy. And if he's unhappy, he'll go to Galatasaray. That's why they'll pay him 150 a week instead of staying at City that pays him 100.
Yeah, I kind of.
Can I say something?
To an extent with both opinions. I feel like there is also a factor that Ederson might not feel appreciated, not just by the manager, but also by the fans, because there are seasons where Ederson has been heavily criticized by the fans, even to a point where he started getting abused, which I don't agree. Like, people go into his wife Instagram page commenting, "Tell your husband to get out of my club." Do you know what I mean? But like, what sort of people does that? Like, it's disgusting. And I feel like many Man City fans may not agree on that, but Pep Guardiola has been wanted. He almost replaced Ederson a couple of times. 21-22 seasons where the whole Bernabeu fiasco happened, and he came out very, very open, Pep Guardiola, in a few press conferences that season where he was very critical of Ederson, and even last season happened, and where fans were on him, like it was mad. it happens to Kyle Walker as well. And like some people, they can't just keep it keep it football. Do you know what I mean? Just keep on football. Like the stuff like where people just. I know you can get angry when a goalkeeper makes a mistake.
Things happen like this. It's like it's every player, with all due respect to every single football player in the world. I know I'm not condoning the abuse and anything, but if every single football player that gets abused and gets cussed leaves a football club, there was never be a player staying at any club, bro. Like that doesn't work like this.
People go into comments and say, "I hope you die." Do you know what I mean? Like just
bro, I'm sorry, that is unacceptable. Yeah. But but it's unacceptable. That happens all the time, bro.
I agree with you. If every player left, there'll be nobody playing that club. But the clubs,
100%.
But also the clubs have a responsibility to their assets,
and I don't think they protected him enough.
Exactly. If players are being threatened online, and the club doesn't make you feel like they're doing anything to make you safe, you see what I'm saying? Like they don't do anything at all. Again, you feel unsafe. You feel okay. It's abuse. But then you still feel like the people I'm giving my sweat and blood to, regardless of whatever it is that you're paying me, you're not making any move. You're not even suggesting like, okay, you know what? Let's get you off social media for a while so nobody sees your account or whatever it is. Let's make sure that your wife, whenever she's going out, will just work with you to do certain basic things. If the club is not doing that, you feel you have every right.
Do we know the club weren't doing that?
To be honest with you, I'm telling you something about this.
I didn't say I know that. No, I just said
about Man City. The difference currently is that Rodri isn't 220k. Kai Havertz earns more than him. He has 2 years left at his contract, so he's targeted by other teams. Is this the end of the cycle for this team? And they need a change.
I think so. I think it was the end of the cycle last season with a lot of the players. I think some of the players that they tried to do what they did last time with the Centurion team starting to slowly transition to the team that won the treble. I think it's just a case of a lot of these players have played their time, and unfortunately, whether they like it or not, the club don't see them as good enough to stay on or to compete at the high level. Regardless of what we think of Ederson, his most important thing is whether the club value him. And like you guys said, I think the club believe that they can do better in the market. They believe that they can get someone else in who could do what Ederson does, but can also be a lot better in this aspects that he struggles at a little bit.
Do you know what the problem is? They're targeting Trafford. Is that something that you're looking at? Like, City are like shouldn't be targeting
this is because we done the whole groundwork since January for Costa from Porto, and obviously Porto, like apparently the rumors were like Porto wanted 70 million euros, and Man City wasn't willing to pay that. Then so all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, going to Trafford. I know he came from the academy, but I don't think he's good enough. I'm not even biggest fan of Ederson, but if it's the option is Trafford, then might as well keep Ederson.
I think you guys missed a big trick with João Garcia. I think someone like Pep could have easily told him to not go to Barcelona and come to Man City. I think
he wanted to go to Barcelona.
I don't know about that.
He wanted to go Barcelona.
The guy they should be all over is Donnarumma. They should be all over him.
But he won't leave. He's set up. Yes.
Also, Donnarumma is not good enough for City.
But Trafford is.
Donnarumma's footwork is not good at all. He won't actually be good at Man City. I don't know Trafford. I don't know if Trafford is good enough with the back. Like Donnarumma's footwork, you guys know that he cannot pass the ball.
Yeah, of course.
He's a good shot stopper. Like you are Italian, you know exactly what I'm doing. The guy can't pass 30 yards pass, he just misses. Simple 20 to 30 yards pass.
Of course, but I believe they should be
old school. I don't really care about these passes. For me,
but that's just to sack.
That's how your manager. That's how your manager.
Your manager wants to play football.
This is the thing. Has Pep? Is it time? Has Pep run his course at Man City? That's the question.
You tell me.
That's a good point
because should they be rebuilding with Pep if Pep ain't going to be the guy that's there? You know, should they be changing it and getting the new guy in? That's a question for Man City.
Maybe that's what they're doing. They're trying to future-proof.
I think it's a fair question, and it's a fair question because I also had this question in November when he signed a new deal, and then he came out in the press conference and said, "I don't want to leave the club in this state. I like." For me, when you sign a new deal, when you decide to continue, for me, is because of you still have that fire within you to go out there and continue to win trophies, not because of we're seventh. I need to. I want to stay because I don't want to leave the club into that seventh position. I want to be like just there and thereabouts. And if that was the case, for me, I was questioning these sort of things, but the man had enough. For me, at the same time, the man had enough credit in the bank to the point where if he wants to stay, he still believes that he can improve the team and the club, and just give him a new deal, innit?
Give him a new deal. Even if he doesn't win the league, even if he comes third or fourth next season.
Not the next season. If we end up fourth or third, if we finish fourth or third, then we have to ask serious questions whether he can continue, whether his motivation is still there. Listen, I always say I've been saying that if we don't compete next season, then we have to make changes on the manager.
I tell you, Mateus, the situation, if we're going to bring it back to Ederson, and maybe for majority of your players in the club, it's so
not just sack him. Listen, name the stadium, name Pep Guardiola Stadium, or name one of the stands, build him a statue, because the guy is a legend. But the club comes first. Sorry,
It's similar to what we're having with Luis Diaz at the moment, and regardless of what people think, whether you think he's good enough or not, it goes back to the same thing. The club see that there's better value elsewhere in the market rather than keeping him on. The only time we've allowed a player to stay on beyond their value is for Virgil and for Mo, and the reasons for that is night and day. Like, you know how good these guys are.
Yeah,
it's just a situation where maybe the club thinking, if we get rid of Ederson, we can get someone younger that could be possibly better than Ederson at this moment. So we have to wait and see what Man City.
Would he be better than Ederson now, or he's going to take 2-3 years?
Better than Ederson now, that can possibly be better.
They need to identify. They need to identify that person now before you actually get rid of Ederson. You need to identify who that person is. I think it's a club that is well run like Man City at this stage. Nobody really knows what the inner workings are, why Ederson wants to leave. But I do think that they would have identified who they think can actually take on the mantle from Ederson already.
They've got a list of players. They must have got a list of goalkeepers.
Well, definitely, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I'm sure that they already have that. Now, maybe they're going for younger players now, and maybe that's what Pep. I'm just speculating here.
Maybe
Pep has agreed with the club. I will get in really good young players together before I leave. So whichever manager comes in has a good crop of young players that he can build with. Maybe that's what he's working towards. Because again, Pep signed a 2-year contract, if I'm not mistaken. He signed 1 year and then 1 year to renew, or something random like that. So he's not. If that's what he signed, maybe he said to them, "Give me this windows to be able to rebuild the squad with younger players, and then by the time I'm leaving, would have identified the manager that'll take over, but with these quality players." So maybe it's just
but the problem you have with that is if they fall off again this year, he might have stayed to do that, but then they might lose Haaland, they might lose Rodri.
Haaland signed a 10-year deal.
Yeah, but don't mean they can't sell.
Yeah, but that's the point. If you then want to buy a Haaland who has like 9 years left on his deal, or 8 years, you're going to be paying out of your nose. A lot of these players,
you're going to pay out your nose regardless. I don't care. It doesn't matter how many years he has left. Let's be real.
If he has 1 year left in 9 years, Giuseppe, if after 9 years, if Haaland has 1 year left on his contract, you factor that in, you're not going to pay 200 million at the time. You probably
Yes.
pay something slightly less.
You forgot that you don't realize what the game is now. Haaland, if Man City want to get Haaland, if he had 2 years or he had 10 years, if someone wants to go and buy him, they're paying 150 million plus. I don't care what anyone said. That's just the way it is now.
That's not how the market works, though.
Well, it does, because I've
No,
watched
that's
people
not
go.
how it
I've watched Mbeumo with 1
Exactly,
year left on his deal go for
exactly.
75 million.
So
So
because England again, EPL is right. I said that's not how it works. If other clubs come to buy, again, you can't take one particular situation and then generalize it across the board.
no, because you're forgetting who the player is they're
realistic.
talking about.
Let's be realistic, right? We saw what Liverpool did with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Real Madrid. They will wait for him to run his contract out. If you have 1 year left as a club, you're forced at a point to negotiate the deal price. You can't be like, give me the 150. I'll wait one extra season. Haaland to be a free agent, and I'll go get him. And the club will then lose money. So the club is not stupid at that point. So there's a certain level of negotiating power by the buying club when you have less than a year left on your contract.
But you're talking like just because he's got 9 years, they won't be able. People won't be able to buy him. Of course they can.
I'm not saying they can't. I just said.
Do you think Haaland is
I just
stupid?
said-
He's gonna commit to the club for 9 years. He's not stupid.
Listen, I didn't say people
Exactly.
can't buy him, Giuseppe. I said it will just cost a lot now that he has a lot more years on his contract.
It depends. It depends. To be
There might
honest with
be-
you, it depends.
Do you know what we've
Haaland,
learned?
like if Haaland, sorry, if Haaland is not performing up to 30 goals and he's scoring, for example, let's say Haaland scores 25 goals, similar to Gyökeres, or 20 goals next season, similar to Eze, right? And that continues for the season after. Okay, his wages, Man City would want to at least, maybe if Man City want to move to a different striker, maybe Man City would look out to offload this wages off their books. He's making like 400k a week. I'm not saying that is. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm just saying having a 9-year contract. Jackson has 10-year contracts at Chelsea. Look at him trying to offload the guy. If someone has a
It's like who
long
knows?
contract, doesn't
Mo,
mean.
No, I'm not
what
saying that
we've learned-
he can't be
what we've
bought. I'm
learned from
talking
this
about
window.
price. I'm talking about price. I'm saying like
What-
if you look at Haaland right now today with the way he's performing, and you want to
150
buy-
mil,
exactly, and you want to buy Haaland right now with
Yeah.
all the years on his contract, you pay premium, right?
100%.
But even if he's performing at the highest level and he only has maybe 6 months left on his contract, refused to renew because they're not renegotiating his salary to 500 a week, and there's a club that wants him, Mbappe did the same thing. He'll run out his contract. Is all I'm saying.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But what we've learned
Fair
from
enough.
this window as well with the Gibbs White stuff is you don't know what he's got in his contract. You don't know that he ain't put in his contract. I'll sign 9 years, but if Real Madrid come in for 150, I'm gone. That's a release clause. You don't know what people have in their contracts now. There's so many hidden things. For Haaland to sign 9 years, there is a get out of jail. There's things in that contract, in my opinion. That means he can get out.
I know, but we don't know. Again, but since we don't know those things, I can't speak to those things. All I can speak to is I know he has 9 years and he's scoring goals right now. And if you want him right now, you're paying premium. I'm not saying he can't be got. I'm just saying he's expensive. Like you have to fork out the money.
And he'd be expensive if he had 2 years left, though.
And I'm not talking about the details because I don't know the details. So for me to speculate on that would be very disingenuous of me. I can only speak to the years that he's at City for. If he has 1 year left on his contract, and I want him, and I realize City is still asking me for 150, I'll let him run out his contract. If he wants,
cool, Dio, you're talking to another extreme. But
Just
do
like
you think that him having 9 years on his deal makes him more expensive than if he had 3 years on his deal?
At this stage, right now, the way he's performing, no. That's why I said 9 and 1. Giuseppe, I'm being very specific here. I'm not talking 3 or 4 or 5. I said 9 years, and if he has 1 year left, there will be a big difference in the price. Is all I'm saying.
Stupid.
I'm not saying they will. I'm not saying they will, Giuseppe. I'm just saying if that case happens, we saw with Trent, right? We saw Trent not renew his contract, drag it. In January, Madrid was offering 20 million for Trent, which was stupid. But eventually what happened? So my point again is I'm not saying it will happen. I don't know the facts of his deal or what is in the deal. I'm just saying the duration of play for a player, when they are about to run out their contract, you have negotiating power at the buying club.
The question is whether Haaland has that time. That's the thing.
Okay, now it's very good segue to the actual conversation. Guys, there is like 500 votes and we are not even on 300 likes. 500 likes is the minimum for the show. Hit that like button, people. Come on now. Let's get the likes to 500. About the striking option, Arsenal got Gyokeres. Liverpool got Ekitike. Man City have Haaland. Are we seeing now everyone is moving towards the number 9 that they wanted? And how do you guys assess next season and who's ahead of the other in terms of like the title favorites and winning the title and all this stuff? What do you guys think? Like Liverpool got the best deal or Arsenal?
I think if we're talking about who's the favourites is Liverpool, because they've added to their team and they won the league last season, so they're favourites. I think who's got the best strike, who signed the best striker, I'd argue we have. Like, I just believe we have.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty 95% sure that he's gonna bang. Like, I don't care. I'll put my neck on the line now. Like, people want him to. People have convinced themselves that he's gonna flop now because they really are. They really want him to. But this guy is not flopping. Like, I'm telling you, like, there is no.
Who signed the best striker, or not? Who has the best striker?
We've signed the best striker.
Oh,
so
right,
the best striker is Haaland in the league.
Striker,
So Haaland's the best striker in the league, in my opinion. Yeah. But out of all the strikers that have been signed, we've signed the best one, in my opinion. Ekitike is a good signing. I think they overpaid for him, but he's a good signing. And I think Liverpool could take that gamble with him because they've got Salah still and stuff. So they've got their goal man. So they can say, look, we'll buy this guy. He needs time to settle. Even if it takes him 2 years to get to the levels, that's fine. That's fine for Liverpool. Whereas we couldn't do that. We had to go for the gunman that is gunning right now. It's why we didn't really want Sesko, like fans. We didn't really want Sesko because it's the same thing.
Well, there's a lot of people that wanted Sesko.
No, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people, yeah, that wanted Sesko when they thought we were getting Sesko. Yeah, they changed their tune. No one wanted Sesko before that. People started changing their tune to wanting Sesko.
Exactly, that's not true, man. You know,
because Sesko is Arteta guy, isn't it? Because he's been
there was a couple man that don't like Gyökeres. It's beyond.
Yeah, Arteta has been chasing Sesko since last summer.
But the thing is, it's like we've been linked with Gyökeres since last summer as well. But it was loose. It was weird with the Sesko one. But like that for me, that striker that. For me, potential, we got to wait and see. Potential signing of the summer is all in all is Gyökeres because the price we got him for as well is insane. So, yeah, I think we've got the best striker going into the season, like of the signings. But Liverpool are still favourites. Like they've added Wirtz and stuff like that. Do you know what's funny though? How so many.
So how are you saying this? And are you excited about the signing then?
Yes, but mate, I think this signing, people are underestimating. Like I think this signing gives us a good chance of winning the league or the Champions League, to be honest. Because I even look at if Gyökeres does what I expect him to do, I even go back and look at last season in the Champions League. I'm not saying we're going to win the Champions League, but I look back at us in the Champions League and I say, especially in that second game against PSG, if we've got Viktor Gyökeres, we're probably 2-0 up within 30 minutes of that game, and now we're actually ahead of them. Do you know what I mean? Like we could then go and win that game, and then go and win the like. I actually see him as the missing piece. I've been saying we needed a striker, and now we got him. Of course, people are going to start saying Darwin Núñez, the Portuguese league. But Liverpool fans are pushing that narrative now of like a lot of Liverpool fans, not all of them, pushing that narrative of Darwin Núñez 2.0. But that's like me going and saying, okay, that's fine because Wirtz is Timo Werner 2.0. Wirtz is Havertz 2.0. If you want to say Havertz is crap.
Yeah.
But so's Gyökeres and Núñez. Just because they're both strikers, this sort of this narrative.
Say a player, Giuseppe, man. Come on, we're not doing this.
But again, it's because people just talk crazy. That's the thing. People won't actually talk about the football itself. Again, Gyökeres, the last couple of seasons, has been the most informed striker in Europe. In Europe, let's not even argue. You can talk about the league he plays in. You can talk about how whether it's better or it's not better or whatever the case is. That's a different conversation. But we're talking about banging in goals over the last season in Europe, both in the Champions League and in your local league. Gyökeres is the guy who has been doing it at an alarming rate. Now, if he brings half of that to Arsenal, we don't draw 14 games last season. If he brings half of the goals that he contributed in Portugal, to Arsenal, we don't draw 14 games because there were games that we just needed one goal in, and that was all we needed. One goal. We considered the least last season. Again, defense is doing what it's supposed to do. In the attack, we're unable to do anything. Coming from 80-something goals or how many 90 goals the season before to scoring only 60-something goals, dropping almost 20 goals and 21 points from winning positions. It's clear we needed a striker. That's the main thing we needed last season. It's just funny that now that we have a striker, people just want to banter and not want to talk about the football. And I think it's just genuine fear that we actually bought a good striker. They were hoping that we would buy the deal would fall through. We would end up going to buy maybe one of these upcoming young strikers or bring somebody from the academy so that they can laugh and point fingers again. But then again, I think maybe just to clarify something that someone said earlier. I said, they brought in Berta so that Arteta, Berta can listen to Arteta. I said, well, that's not true. This has debunked it. Everybody knows that Arteta wanted Sesko. He wanted Sesko. The fact that we got Gyökeres means that the sporting director has reported that he wanted Gyökeres, was the one who got Gyökeres. So we know who's in charge here. We know who's in charge, and it's a different person running the affairs of how we
do you know what the problem with this? Do you know what the problem is this? I have not seen one Liverpool fan praised at all. Not one. Not one. I've seen some Man City fans a little bit worried. I've not seen one Liverpool fan sit back and say, yeah, they signed Gyökeres. I'm a little bit worried. They're like,
they've got a good striker now. I think Gyökeres.
I like what Arsenal did. It's strengthening the league.
Yeah,
right? No one is.
Do you know what happened? Do you know what happened, Mo? You have fans, you have Liverpool fans, yeah. You have Don Hussam sitting there gassed because he thinks you're getting Sesko and he don't rate him. Teta, he runs your club. What was the point of getting Berta? What was the point of bringing Berta in if we're only going to go and get the target that we're going to get? They really believed, they all seriously believed that Sesko was coming in. Yeah, and now they've got mud on their face because Gyökeres is in and out.
And that's why they're quiet, Mo. That's why they're quiet now, because everything that they thought that we were hoping would happen did not happen. So that's why they're not saying anything.
No.
It's the reason.
Listen. The reason why we're quiet, no matter how much you strengthen.
Right. Maybe not you. Listen. Maybe not you.
I agree.
Listen, maybe not you. Maybe not you, Rat. You haven't been online. You haven't been online seeing what some Liverpool fans have said.
No, I have. Listen, you can't do that.
Hold on. I'm saying it's those Liverpool fans that I'm talking about. Now they are the same people who they're mute because everything that they said would happen did not happen. Oh, you're going to get Sesko.
It's not just Liverpool fans.
I'm just speaking based on what Giuseppe said as far as Liverpool fans and what Mo said, and Liverpool fans aren't making it. I get it. They don't have to be afraid. But the point is, everything that they said we needed last season, we've gotten now. So that's my point. My point is...
Yeah, you know what the problem is? They thought that until they got way stronger than last season.
Oh, no.
That is not the problem.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. So with the whole Liverpool stuff, it's funny because the 3 years that we've come second, every single season, people have gone, Arsenal would have won the league if they rivals as well. Arsenal would have won the league if they got a striker. Arsenal would have won the league if they had a striker. He ain't got a striker. Now we've got a striker. All of a sudden, it seems to be impossible for us.
Because Liverpool are doing. Nobody says it's impossible. You got to be realistic. But Giuseppe, Liverpool are moving mad. Liverpool might sign Rodrygo as well.
Giuseppe,
here's the thing, right? We'll know more.
We'll know more since we signed Alisson in 2018.
We'll know more. We'll know more come the end of the transfer window because Arsenal aren't done. Liverpool potentially aren't done. So we'll see where the teams are at the start of the season. Then we'll fully be able to talk, right? But at the same time, Liverpool have improved. Yeah, they've improved. Wirtz is a great signing for them. He improves them massively.
Who improved more? Can you tell me who improved more?
You can't tell that until the season starts. I
want his opinion. No, I am not asking Dayo. I am not asking if somebody's maybe. I'm asking a straight opinion from Giuseppe. Who improved more? It's a straight thing.
Here's the thing, right? It's a bit more complicated than who's just. If you asked me, no, I'm going to answer it in a certain way, right? If you ask me who has filled the bigger gap in their team, Arsenal have. I think Arsenal, the striker gap that we were missing, not having a striker, was bigger than any gap Liverpool had in their team.
Yeah,
right? When you watched Liverpool last season, I would argue that, yeah, maybe they could have improved in certain positions, but there weren't like a huge gaping hole in their team where you looked at it and said, bro, they really need that position.
You can argue otherwise, but fine.
You could argue otherwise, but I think if you look at it,
last season, people were watching Arsenal games and think, but every time they drop points or they couldn't win a game, they miss a lot of chances. That everyone was like, "Oh, these guys need a striker." Or whereas Liverpool,
nobody was saying Liverpool needs midfielders like
that.
They knew that they needed it, but nobody was.
No, they did, but that's why because everyone is focused. Okay, I'm gonna debunk. I'm gonna debunk what. But before you speak, I'm gonna debunk what Giuseppe said. Even though
you want to debunk it.
I'm gonna debunk Giuseppe's point before you come up with new points.
I want to add to Giuseppe's point.
I'm gonna debunk Giuseppe's points before you come up with new points.
It's not a new point.
It's my channel.
No, it's the same point that Giuseppe is making that I want to make, so you can debunk it together. Otherwise, we'll be repeating ourselves.
I will forget about it. Go ahead.
Okay, go on then. Because I'm going to repeat.
It's very simple. Liverpool created the most chances in the league, and they didn't have a striker, so they added number 9 striker. Liverpool, their midfield is way below in the ranking in terms of the midfielders that created chances. There were about 16 players before you come up to a Liverpool player in that midfield for big chances created. They added one of the best creators in the world. That is what Liverpool did, guys. So Liverpool basically, literally, filled the 2 holes that they had last season in the team. And I'm going to argue with a number 10 that is arguably one of the best in the world. So a combination of Ekitike and Wirtz literally solves all their problems that we have seen last season. That's it.
So Giuseppe, hold on. Let me just say this. Again, Mo, nobody's saying that they didn't have holes. He used the word gaping. He specifically said the team that most people looked at and said, this is a major problem for you. Nobody was saying, oh my God, Liverpool can lose this season because of their midfield and that they don't have a striker. Nobody ever said that last season. It wasn't gaping. We're saying, yes, they identified it as a weak spot in their team. As strong as they were, it was a weak spot. It wasn't a gaping hole. What Giuseppe is saying is, if you're going to argue about who has fixed what is a major issue for them, Arsenal have fixed a major issue. This is our first real
Mikel Merino.
Hold on.
Mikel Merino as a striker is better than Darwin.
Let me listen. I'm not arguing about who's better. Don't change the conversation. This is our first real number 9 since Aubameyang. Arsenal has not signed a number 9 since Aubameyang, which means that's a gaping hole for how many seasons? You have to be realistic when you ask the question, and that's what we're answering.
It's so subjective because it's not even, I don't think we had a gaping hole, but we had deficiencies that
that you fixed.
Here's you had
those deficiencies that have been addressed to the highest level.
Can I say something?
I agree with that.
Let's rephrase how we're talking, because let's not talk about only a position, right? We had a gaping hole, in my opinion, of someone we don't have a player that's going to score an abundance of goals for us, right? You had that, regardless of what Mo says, that you needed Darwin Núñez. Moreno is an improvement on Darwin Núñez. That's all right, because you didn't need your striker to do that, because you had a gunman on the right. Player. You had a 30-plus goal player and a double-digit assist. Like, he had an insane season. Yeah, so you didn't need like that. You don't need the striker the way we need the striker, because you have Salah, who's kind of like your guy. By the way, you dominated league. You didn't win the league most of the time, but you won Champions League with Bobby Firmino as a striker, because the wingers were your gunman. And you didn't need the striker to be. Whereas we don't have.
But you didn't actually. By the way, you didn't address one of the main problems that Arsenal had last season, which is chance creation from the midfield. We're still going to go this season.
But no, who said that? But the transfer window's not shut yet. It's obvious that we're going for another attacking player. That's been said, and I think we will go for another attacking player. If that's a left winger,
would you not prioritize that the Eze deal before the Madueke one?
Yes and no. I'm firmly a guy that don't give a crap about the order of the signings. Personally, it doesn't matter as long as we get the signings in. Madueke was easy to get done at the time, so they went and done that, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want the signing. I thought people went over the top with it, these petitions and that, but I didn't want the signing personally. But for me, Eze is a great player. People forget. I think Nwaneri is going to be very good for us this season. Personally, I think he's going to have a key role in the attacking midfield spot. Definitely after signing the contract. But for me, I still think Rodrygo should be the guy we're going for over Eze. Personally, I still think
because
that
at this right moment in time, talks out like that you're going to be focusing on outgoings, try to raise some funds.
No,
I don't know whether it's true or not.
It said we'll be focused on outgoings because we're expecting to still do business to get in another attacking forward. It literally says that. It didn't just say, but focusing on outgoings alone, we're not going to do more business. Everybody, if we're
no, that's what I'm saying. They focus on outgoings in order to bring more attacking.
To bring more attacking players. So we'll see who they bring in. The point is,
that's why my question was, would you not like put that Madueke deal on hold for now because it's Chelsea? You guys are friends with Chelsea anyway, especially when it comes to buying their players. And Eze is an extra 12 mil, which I
don't think it's the money that is the issue here. I think it's the duration of the business. It's like who you're doing business with. If Crystal Palace is not saying, again, there's reports that Eze and Arsenal have agreed, like terms will not be a problem, right? Yeah. So if the club itself, Crystal Palace, is not yet ready to entertain the conversation, you're not going to be like, let me just leave the Madueke deal and leave it there and just not do anything until I speak to Crystal Palace. Like, there's no point doing that.
Especially with pre-season.
Again, 3 things. I said this in the stream that I did with more earlier. I said 3 things that I thought was our major problem last season. Number 1, we didn't have a striker. Number 2, squad depth. Number 3, in-game management by the manager. Number 2, squad depth. Madueke addresses part of that, right? He addresses part of that. So he addresses part of the thing. Mosquera addresses part of that. Norgard addresses part of that. Kepa addresses that for us. Thank God we signed a keeper who's not cup tied this time around. We don't have to run Raya into the ground. Bukayo Saka doesn't have to play 397 games and then have a hamstring and be out for 3 months, only to come back and still be the second or third best big chance creator after being out for 3 months behind Mohamed Salah. So again, to address what Mo said, we didn't address our issue of creating chances. We had somebody who, by the time he got injured, he was tied with Mohamed Salah on big chances created. We just couldn't put them away.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? When you say the squad depth, but looking at your transfer window so far, you've only had the one player, because the other we've had 2, with including Mosquera and Gyökeres, because the other ones, they were basically replacement.
Yeah, that's what I meant by squad depth. Squad depth again for me, replacement.
Two midfielders left.
Yeah, no. So last season we had players who were
just replacing.
I know. What I'm saying, they were out for the whole season. We couldn't use them. Like they were just totally out. So replacing them and having players who are availability is the best ability, man. I mean, we're playing Mikel Merino as a number 9 and Kieran Tierney as a left winger in certain games. That just tells you how dry it was. So my thing is, when I say squad depth, I'm not saying the multiplication of adding players. I'm saying if the players you have are not available because of injury or fitness or whatever it is, Gabriel Jesus out, Kai Havertz out 3 months, Saka out. No replacements for them. Buy replacements and then make sure you replace the guys who, if they're not going to be there, have people who are available. And that's what I mean by availability, squad depth. So
fair play. And I think it's fun, Ram.
I was going to say, would you say your squad's depth is as good, if not better, than ours?
I don't know the rest of your. I know you're starting 11 now. I think I know you're starting 11, but we don't know what Arne Slot would do. But I don't know.
100% their squad depth is better than Liverpool, without a shadow of a doubt.
I don't know about your squad depth. 100%. I don't know your other
without a shadow of a doubt.
I don't know who the other players are, so I'm not going to speak to that. I can't really.
Ben White and Timber both are better right backs than Conor Bradley and Frimpong. Gyökeres is a good left back, but they have Calafiori, they have Zinchenko currently, and also they have Miles Kelly. In the midfield, you're gonna see Robertson. You want to see Robertson? He's on the market. You can't have 3 left.
You've included Zinchenko.
Okay, so forget Zinchenko, Lewis Kelly, and Calafiori. In my opinion, Gyökeres is good, but the squad depth going down from Miles Kelly to Calafiori is not as going down from Gyökeres to Tsimikas. You know that, like Tsimikas is not good enough. In the midfield, Gravenberch is good. Going down to Endo, they go down to Norgard or Declan Rice is a 6, basically. McAllister is good. There is Declan Rice. That's for you. You go that you have Zubamendi, Rice, and Norgard. They have Mikel Merino and Declan Rice as the left 8. They have Martin Odegaard, which is the only one that
Mikel Merino as a centre midfielder.
Is not bad. Not bad.
Is it at the level? But it's not better than even some of the depth that we have.
Like Curtis Jones.
I'd rather have Soboslai there. I'd rather have Curtis Jones there.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Curtis Jones, I give you, is a very, very good player. But I don't think he is like Martin Odegaard and Wirtz both don't have any replacements at the team. That's why Arsenal are targeting Eze.
No, we do. Now
who?
I was going to say Wanyeri.
Ethan Wanyeri.
I haven't seen that enough to say that. Or like that's like me having some. I watched the game. I watched the game. I watched the game today. Yeah. Good friendly game. Again, I'm not gonna get gassed about a friendly game. Ethan Wanyeri played very good at the right wing. Every time he stepped on the midfield last season, you gotta be honest. Every time he played as a midfielder last season, he didn't play well and he got bullied by the opposition. You gotta know that he's still young, and a lot of Arsenal fans. He's still young. I'm not saying that the talent is not there. It's the same as some of the Liverpool kids that play in friendlies or in the cup games against slower teams and they just shine. You don't see in the Liverpool fans saying, wow, this guy is going to be the backup for Salah. That doesn't happen. Right? They don't do this.
I still think you're really underestimating the quality that Soboslai has in this team. I think you really
good. He's not great.
Having him as quote unquote backup is very, very, very good.
The problem you don't have a backup for the most important player in the league and the most influential player in the league, which is Mohamed Salah.
Well, I've seen Wirtz play right wing for Leverkusen. I've seen Soboslai play right wing for Leipzig as well.
Yeah, you're telling me that the drop off from Mohamed Salah to Szoboszlai. Bro, I'm just gonna tell you know what? The drop from Saka to Madueke.
What if it? Because we haven't done a bit, but if it was Rodrygo at right wing.
Yeah, that's the drop off is not small.
I don't think you're going to get Rodrygo. I don't think you're going to get Rodrygo.
Saka and Madueke.
You know what the problem with this is? Like everyone talks about Liverpool getting Rodrygo, and I keep raising the question, and no one answers me. What if Liverpool don't sign Rodrygo or Isak? What happens?
They're not signing Isak. That's not happening.
They've already got a striker,
in my opinion.
So if they have Ekitike, Malik Fofana, Salah, and Diaz and Gakpo, again, what happens then? Is that good enough? Are you banking on Ekitike to score a lot of goals? Or like everyone from Liverpool?
I'm gonna ask you a question, Mo. I'm gonna ask you a question, Mo.
People say that we can afford Ekitike not to score goals because of Mo Salah. I think people forget we can also afford that because we have Wirtz who can get goals in midfield, which we lacked quite a bit. Only times we scored in midfield was because of a McAllister long shot. That's it.
Yeah. Mo, can I ask you a question?
Yes, please. Finally, someone asked me a question.
Yeah. If Arsenal sign Rodrygo, I'm just hypothetical. If Arsenal sign Rodrygo and Liverpool sign, I don't know, just an okay winger.
Fofana as an example.
Fofana, for an example, yeah. Who do you think going into the season's improved more?
Arsenal.
Okay. That's how close it is.
And I actually think that if Arsenal sign Rodrygo, I think Arsenal favors to win the league. I'll put my money on it.
The reason why
here we go.
No, but Giuseppe, do you know why I say that? Because I know for a fact Nunez is going to leave, and I know for a fact Luis Diaz is going to leave. If we don't address those absences, I think Luis Diaz is a big one. Even though Gakpo was very good last season, we still wait to see if he can continue it into this season.
Where is Luis Diaz going?
Then is a different story.
Okay, so what we're saying again, if I understand clearly, is that you're saying that if Arsenal signs Rodrygo, addresses that left position, we're more improved than Liverpool this season. Is that what you're saying, Mo?
Yeah.
So you're saying that Arsenal is just one quality player away from catching up to Liverpool.
Well, that is a world-class player.
That is a phenomenal player.
Yeah. No. I'm saying that's why I said one quality player, which means for me, we're not far off right now. And the way people are the way people are speaking about it is like we need 7 more players to be able to catch up to Liverpool because they signed.
No, what?
No, not you. I said,
not.
Mo. I did not say you. I said the way people are speaking about it. You can't speak for people. I have people that I speak to. I have people in the chat that say all the kind of nonsense that they want to say.
Guys, do you want me to tell you guys? Do you guys want me to tell you something for real? You know, Martinelli was injured last season. And I'm gonna be honest with Liverpool fans, and they're not gonna like what I'm about to say, right?
You never say
a lot of Liverpool fans are blinded by how good Mohamed Salah's season was last year. That now they are talking about the likes of Gakpo and Diaz and this and that as being great. Do you know Martinelli was injured last season? He only had 2 GA less. An awful season for Martinelli than Cody Gakpo. A lot of Liverpool. Yeah, I think Martinelli was injured.
He played
last season
for games in the league last
season.
Yeah,
but he
wasn't.
He came.
Wasn't he?
He played with injuries throughout. Same thing with the
You're missing the point. Even though Martinelli, a lot of Arsenal fans would sit here and tell me that Martinelli had an awful season and a shit season, and we need an upgrade. Well, Liverpool fans, Cody Gakpo had 2 GA more than him.
Yeah, but Gakpo was also injured.
So both were injured then. One has 2 GA more. Okay, then.
I think that's a shock that Liverpool is going to have in the season. I think
I'm not giving excuses. I'm saying that Cody Gakpo is not as good as what you guys think he is. And he's just a good player. People think that he can carry Liverpool sometimes. He's not.
No, this is why I think when I was saying about Arsenal fixing that hole and stuff more than Liverpool is because I look at it and I say, like, Liverpool have improved. Yeah, they've improved massively in the sense of the players they've signed, but I don't know if they're going to improve on like goal output next season as much as people think, because I don't see Salah having that phenomenal season the way he did. That was a monstrous season. That was a season, like, that was arguably one of the best ever seasons of any Premier League player.
It is the best ever.
The best. That's not going to be replicated next season, in my opinion. Maybe he does. Maybe he proves he does it again. But even if he dropped half of that, yes, you'll pick up that half from Wirtz and Ekitike, but then you're where you were last season. Whereas Arsenal, I don't see us being worse than last season. If anything, our standard team without Gyökeres will be better than last season. And then you add Gyökeres into that as well. And if he does what I think he can do and will do, we would have improved massively. And it's one thing I'm interested about next season with Liverpool to see, because I do think Liverpool fans think that that's just a standard now, that Salah thing. Like, I don't know, like, that last season was phenomenal. And if he didn't have the season that he did, you would have still probably won the league, but it would have been a lot more tighter.
But Salah dropped off a little bit at the end of the season, didn't he? Like,
because he had already done the business. At a point last season, Salah was carrying 75% of Liverpool's goals. 75%. So again, that's why you say that.
Hold on. I'm
not saying in the bad way. Let me finish. I'm not saying in the bad way. I'm saying at the point I said, and that's why I see what Liverpool did this window, where you addressed it by bringing in Ekitike and Wirtz. Like, you're like, you know what? At a point, we had one player carrying a lot of our goals, and that's amazing. Like, if you have that kind of player, why wouldn't you be happy with that? But then you're going into next season saying, look, we can't bank on the same thing, which is what any smart manager would do, any smart team would do. We need to bring in other people that can also share part of this, just in case something happens to Salah or he's not able to replicate. So
but isn't that the reason they signed a striker?
So I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, so you have strengthened. I agree with you. Like, you have strengthened. Liverpool has strengthened. You know, if people will say, oh, well, Salah will score the goals, I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. But at the same time, Liverpool has added players onto their squad now that can also add more goals. If Salah replicates that season, Wirtz adds his goals, and Ekitike adds his goals, Liverpool wins the league this season. Forget it. If Salah replicates last season, and Ekitike does what he did in Frankfurt, 15 goals last season, and Wirtz does what he did at Leverkusen, Liverpool wins the league this season. But now I think your club is like, he may not be able to replicate 100% of that. Maybe replicate 60% of it. So let's bring in people that can add to it. You know,
at the same time, though,
what's happening at the back line, because there's rumors that they might lose one of the centre halves.
And we'll wait till the end of the window. The rumors are rumors. You know,
who's leaving?
Konate
staying anyway.
I know, that's why I said it's rumors for me. Like, it's rumors. You know,
the thing is either he signs the contract, which we've offered him today, or he leaves for free next season.
Here's the thing as well, though, when you say like if they replicate and that, it's like that with anything, because if Gyökeres somehow replicates what he's been doing, then mate, we'll be flying next season. So
it is.
Listen, the thing is with Liverpool. Liverpool are favourites, right? 100%. And I want to ask Ram this because I know, like everyone says, we've got to win the league. We do need to win the league. We do need to win a major because it's been too long, right? And we've got the team now. We've got the striker. We do. However, that two things can be right at the same time, right? We need to win the league. But Ram, if you don't win the league now, is it a failure? If you don't win the Premier League,
100%.
It's not.
100%. I mean, the amount of money that we spent this season, the fact that we won the league this season, we strengthened some of the starting 11 players and now squad players in a title-winning team. If we don't win the league, that's a failure. 100%.
Any season that you don't win the league is a failure.
I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not.
That's not true.
Say that again.
Mate, you said that any league season that you don't win the Premier League is a failure.
Yeah. I mean, you have to add context to it. I mean, 21-22, I'd argue we only spent 35 million on Konate, didn't do anything in the window, so we didn't even prepare to try and win the league. 22-23,
so it was a failure.
Decided not to play
because you failed in the transfer window. That cost you in the league, so the season was a failure.
No, because
last season,
that's a load of bullshit.
Last season, if you don't prepare,
why should you expect to win the?
They didn't do anything in the transfer window last season, and they won the league. So what are we talking about?
Here's the thing, right? To debunk that, so like you think that
they brought in a new manager.
So if next season,
come on, Mike.
If next season,
manager because the other one was leaving, that was not the plan.
No, they brought in a new manager.
I'm not even gonna.
We're talking
Bro,
about
can I ask you? If next season, sorry, Dyer, one sec. I'm not even going to use Arsenal or City in this. I'm going to use Chelsea. If next season, Liverpool win the league and they get 101 points, and Chelsea get 100 points and come second, you're saying that's a failure for Chelsea?
Yeah, they didn't win the title,
brother.
Yeah, but that's a different. That's not a failure though. A failure would be. A failure would be
100 point.
No, a failure would be Arsenal winning the league, and the reason we win the league and Liverpool finish on like 81 points and we finish on like 84 points, and they've just been battered to. That's a failure. If it goes down to the last wire, right, and you've both got phenomenal amount of points, that's not failure. Because someone can be better than you, just that little edge better than you.
I don't know. Points are irrelevant, bro.
Can I ask you though? I want to ask you this though. All right, cool. I want to say this to you, Ram, because for me, it is a failure if you don't win the league. However, say Gyökeres replicates what he's been doing, and say he beats Haaland's record next season. I'm just hypothetically, he beats Haaland's goal record next season. Saka gets double. Goals, double GA, phenomenal. Rice, player of the season, right? And we get like 99 points and you get 98 points. Is that still a failure for you?
That's irrelevant, the number of goals, not the number of assists. Because let's face it, the way we've been criticized Harry Kane when he was a Spurs, scoring a lot of goals, not winning anything. The goals are irrelevant if it leads
I'm saying we win the league. I'm saying if that happens,
if you win the league,
but then hold on.
And then, guys, Giuseppe woke up and now he didn't find the cover.
Of course.
Cover.
No, what I'm trying to say is about the failure thing. If that happens and Liverpool don't win the league because that has happened, that's not failure.
Yeah, but Giuseppe, you asked me straight up if we don't win the league.
On a normal thing. That's the thing. On a normal thing, but there is a context to it.
So, okay, hold on. Okay, let me flip this now. So if Verts come in and he's like hitting the running, Mohamed Salah doesn't get 47 GA, but gets like 35 GA, and Ekitike is good enough, and Arsenal and Liverpool get like 95 points, and Arsenal get 93 points, have you failed?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. But here's the thing. The reason we fouled. No, but the reason we fouled. But the thing is, the reason we fouled is because we've done it multiple times. Here's the thing. If say, I wouldn't say it's so much of a failure if the circumstances are that Salah has had the season that he had this season again. He's replicated it. Wirtz has added 15 goals and 10 assists to their team, and that I wouldn't say that's necessarily failure. The manager would have to leave and stuff. You'd have to change stuff up, but that's not necessarily failure. I don't know. Maybe I see failure as something different.
No, I'd say if you're
because here's the thing, right? If you look at failure as just like you don't win, so it's a failure. Yeah, you fail to win the league.
For Arsenal, yes. For Liverpool, no.
But when I hear failure,
the problem is you guys are thinking too much about the points tally. The points doesn't matter if you don't win the league. Like every time I hear Liverpool fans talk, "Oh, we reached this number of points that we didn't win the league, 94 points or whatnot." For me, I can't even remember how many points we finished in them seasons. I know we won the title.
Yeah, just add one.
No, I don't know.
Let me tell you the difference.
I don't remember.
I'm going to tell you guys, if Liverpool don't win the league next season, and even if they come third, they can say the excuse will be very simple. We are getting a young striker. We got a young German player. We got two new fullbacks. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you what I think that can happen. The problem is Liverpool can say, yeah, we won the title with the third season of Arne Slot. We're rebuilding the team. We're in for a great period in the next 2, 3, 5 years. For Arsenal, it's different because now you've been building and building and building. And you added the striker that everyone is raving about, the striker that everyone wanted at Arsenal. Mikel Arteta has been here for a while now. So if he doesn't win the league, it's so different. The Arne Slot already proved that he's a winner. So the club will keep him at the helm of the team. The club will tell him, yeah, we'll give you another chance, rebuild, get Ekitike used to the system, get Virtues to the system, Frimpong, Kerkez, blah, 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 all the stock. But you talk about Arteta, nobody's giving him an excuse next season.
Yeah, but
no one is telling him anything.
That's what Giuseppe was saying. Giuseppe was saying if Liverpool don't win the league this season by just some sheer measure of an excellent play by Arsenal or any other team, that Liverpool cannot be considered a failure. That's what Giuseppe was saying. He was giving context and saying you can't consider them a failure.
But when I told him about Arsenal, he kind of hesitated.
No, for Arsenal.
Yeah, because of course.
For Arsenal.
I said it was a failure.
It depends.
I said it's a failure.
For Arsenal, it's a failure because of the context surrounding. Just the same way Liverpool's context is, they just won the league. You gave that context to them, so we can't consider that a failure since they recently just won the league. They're defending champions. For Arsenal, it is a failure if we don't win the league because we have built this far, brought in all the final pieces, and if we don't do something with it, then the manager has to be changed. Or the club is sold.
I agree with you.
Or you sell the club and buy a new Arsenal. I don't know.
Let me do this. Let me do this. Chelsea have different mentality to Arsenal fans. Win or F off. If you don't win, it's a failure. That is driven from the fans. That's why we win. Okay, then, Sam.
I think this is such a delusional take from a fan to think that your mentality affects the win now. Of like, dude, the truth about it is the only reason you've been this successful in the last 20 years, again, was your initial ownership. Your initial ownership, the way he behaved and the way he thought was very different, and the way the man moved. So we'll see going forward.
But he bought Shevchenko.
Even these things, even these Chelsea fans, like they fair enough. The Club World Cup, they're twerking against us about winning stuff. The only two things they've won in the last however many years, in the last 5 years or whatever it is, we haven't been in that competition. We couldn't win them things that they've won. They've not won anything that we're in to twerk. Like we wouldn't have won the Conference League if we were in it the past couple of years. Yeah, like we wouldn't have had a good shot at winning the Club World Cup if we were
telling you every single one of our teams would have won the Conference League. With our B teams,
and that's not taking away like they've won it. Fair enough, be happy that you've won it, but then don't start twerking like you've won something. Like because if it was the other way around, you know what would have been getting said if we had won the Conference League, and we and stuff. What they would have been saying to us, how it's not this, not that. So they can't twerk about winning. Win something major as well, because I don't care what Chelsea is saying. We must win. They also must win a major. Like, I don't care what they want to say. They must win. They must next season. They should be as looked at as for winning the league as we are. I don't care that Arteta's been here X amount of years. They're telling me Maresca's better than him. They're telling me Maresca's won more. He's won 2 trophies. This is what they're telling me. So they've got to win the league next year because the money they've spent, the money they're spending this window, the team that they have that is better than our team, they've got to win the league next year. If we have to win the league, they have to win the league. It's as simple as that. I don't get how Chelsea fans try and spindle stuff to suit their agenda, because you've got Chelsea fans that all of them tell me that their team's better than ours, their manager's better than ours, but we have to win the league and they don't. When was the last time Chelsea won the league? So yes, if we have to win the league, which we do need to win the league, Chelsea next season also need to win the league. It's standard. I don't get why they're trying to pussyfoot around it. People
in the comments saying that they won Champions League. Remind me, was that under Abramovich or was that under Bowley? Just enlighten me, please, because you're telling me Champions League won 4 years ago. Yeah, you won the Champions League under an ownership that bought the likes of Kante and Thiago Silva. Your ownership now don't do that. So you have a certain structure. Please tell me what you won under your ownership now.
It's not their fault that their team was picked apart because of the war in Ukraine. It's not their team that the UK government forced them to sell their team. That's not the fans' fault.
No, but you're missing the point. You're missing the point. They keep going on about, they won the Champions League 4 years ago. Yeah, under a different management.
What's this? That
are you telling me that the way that they're owned is exactly the same as the way that Abramovich owned Chelsea?
No,
exactly. So,
Ram, who do you think is gonna win a major? Arsenal or Chelsea?
What? Who will win it next?
Who do you think is going to win a major first? Arsenal or Chelsea?
Arsenal.
What are they winning, in your opinion?
I think both teams won't win anything next season, but Arsenal will win. I think they may win the Champions League with a better manager.
You think Arsenal are closer to win the Champions League than Chelsea? Yeah, it's fine. You can just think that. It's fine.
I still think Arsenal are better than Chelsea.
I think so too. I don't deny that. I'm never gonna sit here and tell you that Arsenal are worse.
I've been like, you saw the last stream that I was on with you. All these Chelsea fans were telling me that they won the Club World Cup. Remind me, did the champions of Spain play in the tournament? Did the champions of Italy play in the tournament? The champions of England play in the tournament? Mate, Salzburg.
But the tournament had PSG, Real Madrid, Man City, Inter, Bayern Munich, and they won it.
Is it the Club World Cup if the likes of Napoli, Barcelona, and Liverpool weren't in it? Is it truly the Club World Cup?
It's based on points tally you actually do over the last. By the way, I was taught this when I asked this question.
Listen, the Club World Cup, fair play.
And no Chelsea fan here, guys. No Chelsea fan here is sitting here and just flexing the Club World Cup as they won the Champions League.
You'd be surprised, man.
Yeah,
you'd be surprised.
I don't know what tree you're living under. Maybe while you were flying in the air, you missed all the things that Chelsea fans were saying. But the reason the Club World Cup, the reason the champions were not there is they aggregated over 4 years. The last 4 things, over 4 years, it's a point system over the last 4 years, which is why the teams that were there now were the ones that made it. The next Club World Cup, again, it's what your teams do between now and then that gets you to the Club World Cup. So I don't know why they do it that way. I think they should just let all the champions come play. But again, it gives the champions a rest. You don't have to be stressing
even
like in the summer. So
even for example, I know. Listen, I'm gonna sound like such a hater, man. But listen, fair play to Chelsea for winning it, and I'm gonna say that they won it. Yeah, but you've got to take context. Yeah, they beat PSG in the final. They believe they're better than PSG now, I think, like the fans. If you look at the road...
So can I ask a question before you continue? Do you believe next season, Champions League quarterfinal, PSG versus Chelsea, do you think Chelsea can win?
No.
No one. I'm gonna. No one here is giving Chelsea a chance. Okay.
No, they've got a chance.
To get this straight from everyone on this panel, I want a percentage of you. PSG played Chelsea quarterfinal, Champions League in 25-26 season. Give me a percentage.
65 PSG, 35 Chelsea. How about that?
That's fair enough. Okay,
Yeah,
Giuseppe.
I'd say around that as well.
All
It's
right.
I
then.
think
it's so
anyone
different when
has
you
a
have
chance.
one-legged tie to a two-legged tie. It's so
Anyone
different.
has a chance.
So are you,
right?
so
I also look at other context
sorry,
about.
Mo, did you say
Sorry,
did you say
Sorry,
quarterfinal or did you say final?
Quarterfinal.
Quarterfinal, I'd say quarterfinal, I'd say 60-40 PSG or 55-45 PSG. But in the
I
final,
like that.
No,
but in the
here's
final,
the thing, right? People just
let me just finish my answer. You gave your answer. I didn't interrupt you. I let you.
No, I didn't. You didn't
so
let me finish my answer.
In the final,
let me finish my answer.
Okay, go on. Finish your answer.
My answer was I agreed with Ram, but I also think I think that it could even be a bit lower because I think that people are disrespecting PSG because of that one game. Because I think there's context to that game. I think that you're looking at a team that went to the final of the Champions League. They've done a treble. They played so many games last season at a high level. Yeah, they then went into the Club World Cup and they had to play tough teams in every single round of that competition. And then they got to the final and fair play, Chelsea beat them. But if you compare that to Chelsea's season, yeah, they had the season where, yes, they got to they won the Conference League, which most of their best players didn't really play most of the competition. Yeah, they done all right in the league. Yeah, they didn't have to battle and stuff. Fair enough. You can compare the league because they won it early. And then they got to the Club World Cup and they could play in second gear for 95% of that competition because they played no one good until they played PSG. So I think there is also context to it. Fair enough, they beat them though, and you got to give it to them, and they won and they give it.
Give them credit.
All I'm saying is if it's a quarterfinal, I'd say PSG has the upper hand. Yes, losing this one game doesn't make Chelsea officially now better than PSG. PSG is still a very good team. But if it's the final, I say 50-50. Remember, we had a stream before the final, and I told Ahmed, the Chelsea fan, he was like, "Oh yeah, no, I don't think we're gonna." And I was like, "Listen, when you're in the final, it's anybody's game.
Literally,
final is anybody's game. I will never write off any team in the final.
Unless it's Tottenham.
Yeah, I would never write. Tottenham did it. They won something.
Oh come on, man, that was.
It don't matter. It don't matter. The point is
crap.
Listen, I know. But my point is, once you're in the final, it's anybody's game. It's 50-50. Yeah. I will never sit in the final and say, "Oh, it's 90-10." That's the dumbest thing, because you can get to a final, and all it takes is one mistake from somebody who's hyperactive on the other team to get a red card, and you're one man down. All it takes is people yelling behind the goalkeeper. He doesn't hear very well in the corner kick, and the ball gets flicked in. All it takes is just one slight mistake in the final. So I will never, ever in the final say, "Oh, 40-60. No, it's 50-50.
What about the league? What about the league, people? Anybody is thinking that Chelsea can do anything in the league?
Nope. Yeah, of course. I think they can.
Yeah.
I think, listen, here's the thing, right? I'll give Chelsea credit. I think Chelsea are building a great team. They're looking good. They're looking a lot more serious with the players they've got, and they're bringing in more players. I'm going to give them that. But I just think people are jumping over the top, because if you're saying they're better than PSG, you're saying they're the best team in the world. You're saying they're the best team in the world.
Not better than PSG. They're not better than PSG.
Your team got dog walked in a final by PSG, right? That same PSG weren't the team that played Chelsea in that final.
Maybe Enzo Maresca schooled Luis Enrique. I've seen teams school other teams. Maybe Enzo Maresca. If you watch the game, literally he schooled him. He schooled Luis Enrique. Let me do this. Liverpool are building a pyramid. Arsenal a Ponzi scheme. Big up JC. Thank you so much. I don't know why the people are making fun of Arsenal for challenging. Ram, you're way too calm to be on a gaslight show. He asked a lot of red meat questions and then watched his panelists go at each other. I love the show, guys. Thank you so much.
People say that people are expecting me to be away. The reason why I'm very calm is because I have a lot of belief in my team. People don't realize how much I rate my team, especially when I signed Florian Wirtz as well. And all these people don't understand, the players that my club has signed are players that I wanted my club to sign. It's as if they literally got into my head, took out every single player that I wanted, and just signed him. Literally. That's why I'm so calm. I have so much belief in my team, man. So much belief.
Let's do this so we can get out of here. Chelsea say that because they beat Arsenal in Europa League. Yeah, that happened about like a couple of seasons, 3-4 seasons ago, right?
No, more than that. It was more than that. It was more than 3.
I think it was like 20.
Wasn't it?
We had Unai Emery. It
was 2017. It was 2017. So
2017?
Yes.
19. All right.
19. I thought it was 2019.
Why that feels so close?
It was like 2018 or something then.
Yeah, because
big up my man here.
18,
Blue-
19, sorry, Dyer.
Big up my man
Next
Blue
news.
Snails is saying, just stop with this rubbish. The difference with the fans is crazy. We demand, and Arsenal fans for the most excuses nearly every end of the season. Don't underestimate the players. See that.
Is he
Oh,
This year, I do
No,
not
it's-
understand what you're saying.
he's
confused.
saying that when the fans are okay with failure, players see that. And the
I think
players see
fans, I think
this.
fans give
Then you haven't
themselves.
got the right players. I don't
No,
care.
no,
You haven't
fans
got the
give
right
that's-
fans
players.
give fans
fact.
give themselves.
You haven't
too
got the
much-
right
they give
players.
themselves too much. Too much.
Have you guys seen the new thing
but
about Arsenal? That a lot of Arsenal fans are saying that the happiness within the season is very important as well. That is how you define success.
What's
You have
that?
not, guys. You haven't seen the videos, the new videos with the podcasters, Arsenal, lots of them, and saying that the happiness that we get through the season, seeing the team win a lot of games, is better than actually just winning a cup or something like this.
No,
You guys seen that?
I'd rather be. I'd
so
rather
here's-
be miserable. I'd rather be miserable for
Giuseppe,
90% of the season. And then
See
live
what
in
Mo-
the
see what
Premier
Mo
League.
is doing. They'll take one podcaster or two podcasters or who are saying rubbish about their own opinion.
But you know, like, I
sound
actually
like-
don't disagree with it in a whole. Like, I would rather, unless I'm winning the Premier League or the Champions League, or my league or the Champions League, Inter, like Serie A, I would take seasons, right, where I'm actually competing for the league or the Champions League over a season where I finish like 8th or 7th or 10th, and I'm miserable throughout the season, and I win a Conference League or a cup. I would
Yeah,
take
so what
that
you're
as
saying,
a
Mo, so
fan,
what you're
I would
saying,
take
Mo,
that.
Mo, in a nutshell, what you're saying is you'd rather beat Arsenal's last 3 seasons than Man United's.
100% without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh yeah, that. But then that's a
Without
different
a shadow of a
story.
doubt.
But then
if
that's the
it's- if
standard
it's
of
like-
trophy, right?
if you're
Because
saying
there's a lot
Like,
of Arsenal fans.
it is
Well,
different. I would like to be miserable the whole season if it means I win the Champions League. That is the pinnacle of football.
Yeah, of course.
You get
Oh,
my
yeah,
point.
But
But
like,
to be
it's like,
miserable in the league, miserable and lose every game, and
yeah, but
like
it's true. I
waking
agree.
up in the morning to watch my team get beat every week, and then I win the cup at the end because I played. With all due respect, I played my neighbor's club. You know what I mean? And I played this guy and that guy, and I had a good final. That is not for me. I don't like this.
What
I
if
want
it's
my team to be
against
competitive.
Milan in the final?
Doesn't matter because that joy is be okay, but then within a month, because in the cup, within a month or even less than a month, you know what you'll wake up to? That you're gonna be miserable again the season after.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
Champions League, you guys, you won the Champions League, Graham. You know, that Champions League glory doesn't go away for years.
Oh,
You
yeah.
keep like, it
Yeah.
doesn't go like that joy of winning the Champions League doesn't go away.
Mo,
It doesn't.
there's literal evidence of it, right? Man United had a dreadful season and then won the FA Cup, was gassed, and then they arguably
By
had
5
their
games,
worst,
they were miserable. By 5 games, they were miserable.
and then they were miserable and they're still miserable. Like literally, they had the
For
worst
the people,
ever
with
season
all
for Manchester United.
everyone that keeps saying the ultimate goal is for you to win the league or the champs. The
Yes,
second is for you to be competitive and win cups.
yes.
The third is for you to be competitive. Like, I wouldn't take being miserable and win trophies, but I want my team to be competitive and win trophies. But having a shit season and winning trophies is not enough for me.
I agree.
That black t-shirt guy, he's talking about Giuseppe, of course. We won 1 Champions League and 1 Club World Cup, 1 Super Cup, 1 Intercontinental, 1 Super Cup since you won even a cup. You guys' destiny will be second again all along.
Once again, what he's trying to say is this about UF Champions League. We finish second all the time, but don't bring the league into it. Yes, you're better in Europe, but don't bring the league into it because we got over double the amount of leagues as you, mate. So let's not do none of that. Chelsea fans seem to want to forget that.
We thrashed
It's
PSG. What are you talking about?
It's very convenient, Mo, when they want to talk about what they've won, and it's good. You've won something. You can't talk about what your club has won, but with everything you've won, you still haven't caught up to the number of trophies that I have. I haven't won anything in 20 years, and I'm still above you in my cabinet. I can count my trophies; they're more than yours. So what are we doing here?
No, they crashed PSG, and that's fair
They
enough.
did,
But
they
like,
did.
we've watched. That doesn't mean anything, though. That doesn't mean you're better than them. Like, fair enough, you won the cup. You got credit for that. But I've watched teams like, I don't know.
You saw Liverpool beat
Leeds.
that Milan team, man.
Yeah, well, we've seen you get battered. Liverpool get battered by Crystal Palace or something like that. Like, do you know what I mean? It don't mean you're better than Crystal Palace, better than you. Do you know what I mean?
It's like Leicester won the league, so now Leicester is they're the champions of England forever. They're bigger than Manchester United and Liverpool and everybody because they won the league once. Like, come on, what are we doing?
Chelsea had hindsight over PSG. Enzo studied. Probably Enzo Maresca literally schooled Luis Enrique. That's a very fair point. But you cannot diminish the achievement that Chelsea did.
That's the thing, Mo. We're not diminishing the actual game. We're just diminishing the fact that they think they're better than everybody else.
They don't think.
Yeah.
And anybody that thinks guys, they are just flexing to wind you up and everyone is biting. That is what is going on.
No, but that's the whole idea now. You want us to bite, right? Or you want us to ignore you?
No, listen.
If you want us to bite, then we'll bite.
They want you to bite.
They want you to bite.
Do
you know what?
I'll play along with their.
I'm not even biting on them. I'm not even biting on them. I'm saying I agree. You're good. You've got to win the league next year. I agree. You must win the league.
Facts.
You must win the league next year. It's as simple as that.
Come on, you got the best. You got the best 10 in the league. You got baby R9, as some people are saying. You're getting Xavi Simons, one of the most promising young players in the world. You've got the best midfield in the league. Apparently, go win the league.
Arsenal must win the league. Chelsea must win the league. It's as simple as that. We both must win the league. No, you've won the league. So you, as Mo said, if you don't win the league, it ain't ultimate. No, you should win the league and that. But I feel like if you don't win the league,
for you guys, you should defend your win. That's what you guys.
That's huge.
So
that is huge.
You have to defend. So for us, it's a must to win the league. For you, it's a must to defend it. There's a big difference. It's like you're the defending champion.
Guys, before I end the show, I got a question. I have 5 subscribers away from 37,700. Share the video, like the video, guys. We reached 400 likes and we have 800 votes, and we gotta end the show soon. So hit that like button, people. Come on now, support the channel. Let's get the likes up, people. Don't be like this. Hit that like button, people. Come on now. A couple of super chats to do, guys. Come on, support. 5 subscribers away. AMTC in every stream they are wearing sunglasses. Every stream, the Chelsea content creators, like he's talking about the Chelsea content creators, they're wearing sunglasses. Yes, AMT. Yes, talk your talk. Jason Ram. I also believe Liverpool will win the Premier League. I'm more worried about the Champions League. But with this agenda and gaslighter host, us Liverpool list want you fight.
They want me to fight on
Nobody
stream.
wants you to fight. The guy is chill.
You know what I've realized? I'm very good at getting other people to fight with other people. So I might do that instead.
Yeah, fair enough. My man here, 90-minute footy saying, and Arsenal beat Chelsea FA Cup finals. Okay, fair enough, my man. Arsenal beat Chelsea in FA Cup finals. That's fair enough. Arsenal fans literally celebrated XG win over PSG. Nobody.
No one done that.
No one done that. No one has done it.
There's so many created agendas.
Listen, when you have to fabricate stories to bolster your points, then yeah.
We'll see how it, bro. Come on now, guys. Thank you everyone that joined us, guys. Giuseppe, fantastic having you here. Ram, great. Dayo, of course, amazing having you here, and we want to thank, of course, Matthias, who joined us. Big up everybody that is here, guys. Thank you, guys. Support the channel, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're actually probably now in our target, 5 more subscribers, and we're our target. I will see you guys. This will take you to Husam's stream where he has Flawless, and of course we'll have Deji. Oh my god, Gona Souls. That would be a fire show. So go and support my man, and I will see you guys soon, and we're out of here, people. This is good.